Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new video this week. As you can see by the title, it's been a pretty eventful start to the week already. On Tuesday, getting the news from Sky, from everything involved around Rangers, that Alfredo Morelos has been sort of banished for the squad. No longer will be taking part in the PSV game, not part of the squad. They'll be travelling over to Eindhoven for the game tomorrow. Big call for the manager. We'll give our thoughts as we go on in the podcast. We've also got to talk about the Hibs game as well, where this all probably ignited from with his red card. And then, as you say, talking about the PSV game at the very end of the episode, which is going to be a big game coming up tomorrow. A lot of controversy, maybe overshadowing how big that game is, but we're here to give our thoughts on what we would do with the team, how we see the game going, and so on. But as always, if you could like, subscribe, share for us, always appreciated. And cheers for supporting the channel as always. So on to the first. Obviously, we've got the Hibs game. If we start off with that, it was an eventful game to say the least. It seems like with Rangers involved with games anywhere away from home, it's just box office. There's always talking points. There's always penalty decisions, red card decisions, and so on. But a lot of it went against us in this game. 2 red cards obviously probably ruined the game. There's been the Lundstrom one appealed. Alfredo Morelos, I would like to imagine, won't be appealed anymore. But we've made our opinions clear on that one. There's a graphic on here that will show and give our thoughts on the 2 red cards as we go. But it was just a really drab, poor performance in Saturday.
Wasn't good enough at all, mate. It was just awful all around, mate. I think honestly there was so many chances first half to bury it, finish the game. But as I say to you all the time, because of our own problems, so many times where we've watched, as I said, we've just caused our own problems constantly, not doing the job, not finishing it, putting the game away. If we were on our form, if we were on target, we could have buried the game in the first half. Maybe made some subs and looked on to Wednesday, but wasn't to be. The red cards are, I mean, obviously the one that we're talking about now, Morelos, that is just, it's no what we've come to hang with overall. He's developed his game. He's stopped with a petulant stuff. And that one for me was a red, definitely. But John's never a red card, as I say. The referee, you're on about box office. The referee must have thought he was box office. Honestly, shocking decision making for the referee. But as we get on to the graphs here, we'll talk about the players and whatever.
So as you say, a really poor performance coming off of the back of a 2-each draw at PSV as well. It was imperative they went into this game and never lost any ground. We really needed to go and win this game because, as we've said, and we're not just going to backtrack our statements or my statements, every drop point is going to be so vital in this league campaign this season. Like, we can't afford to drop points like this. Although this was a totally different circumstance, we've got 9 players in the pitch at the end of the game. There's a lot of stuff that we could have done a lot better, I think, to actually maintain the lead. I just don't feel that as we went to the 9 men, we just sort of gifted Hibs the opportunity to just keep shooting at our goal. We could have kept the ball better, went down, faked injuries, just even bring on Sakala or something. Bring Sakala on, just leave him up there, just let him chase the ball and bring it into the corner. We lacked an out ball because there was no point. Obviously you need to get the ball away from your goal, but you need somebody to chase onto it for me, keep it up there. So it was poor in terms of the way the game had went, but the game started again just like every other first half that's pretty much happened this full season so far. Really poor, sluggish in the ball, no intensity. Nobody really want to commit and take control of the game and try to make things happen. You've got a man, Ryan Kent. There's a graph on the previous screen we'll get to, but he's got opportunities to take shots and he's not taking them.
Countless opportunities, mate, as you say. Countless opportunities. I'll let you get back to it, but countless, mate.
Nah, plenty of opportunities, and you're expecting a guy like Ryan Kent to add more goals to his game. This was the whole talking point. I mean, he's getting the assist, he's got the presence in the team that's obviously needed for going forward, but the goals is something that he's always had to work on, and you would think at the age of 25, 26 he is now, that he's going to mature with that, but didn't really want to take on a couple of the opportunities that were given to him. Tom Lawrence again had another one where he probably should have shot and he passed it to Kent. Rabbi Matondo on the right hand side still looks a bit, but don't really know the word, but he looks frightened by the occasion, maybe sometimes. Looks like he's not willing to put the work in a lot of the time. Obviously, it's still very young in his Rangers career. He's still a young guy in that. But I didn't really set the world alight either.
That's why I'm not going to get stick on him. Listen, you know me, I'm not a big. If you've been listening long enough, you know I'm no Barisic's biggest fan. But Barisic's last couple of games, he's been decent enough. Matondo just wasn't his game. I'm not going to write him off straight away, as you say. See early doors with him still. I just think he's maybe afraid of a physical challenge. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I think he needs to get himself used to that, because it's going to be physical up here. It's going to be really physical. It's not the Belgian league. You're not going to just be able to walk past people. People are going to have a go at you. I just think he needs to up the physicality. I really, overall, I wasn't impressed with him personally. I didn't think he had a good game. But I'm not going to write him off like I'm seeing for some people. Just already saying it's like he's a waste or what have you. I think guys still got a lot to learn in terms of the Scottish game. But that'll only come, as I say, with playing games week in and week out, mate. As you say, with the one with Lonside, was that the one where Cholak was in front of me, went to have a shot, and then it comes across?
I think so. Aye.
That's killer instinct there. Do you know what I mean? I think mixed communication with Cholak and Lawrence there. Lawrence, if he knows he's going to hit it, he needs to be screaming at him, leave. But overall, that was just, I think it summed up our game really for this entire game. Nobody will just do it, just do the business, have that killer instinct. It was all.
I just really think we lacked an identity really going forward. Like, there's too many people that are too comfortable in the ball not to really do anything with it. And they were getting caught out of possession, and Hibs were all right, to be honest, in the first half hour, where they were pressing, and we just couldn't really live with it. We just couldn't get anything going. We were maybe comfortable in possession a lot of the times, but just weren't doing anything with the ball, and Hibs were happy with that. Just give them the ball and they're not going to do anything with it. And I really think we need to find an identity to who we are as a team, because obviously there's a lot of new players in here. So it's a much changed side when you look at it. But
that's why I was making the point. I know obviously some ex-Rangers put McCoy and that saying, they would prefer not to have played this game. I'd prefer to play this game because it gives these guys more time to develop and understand each other's game. That's just all about here.
And I think I've learned a lot about the players that were involved in the game, to be honest with you. Well, I know Van Bronckhorst has definitely learned a lot about one of the players that came off the bench, but a lot is going to be learned for the squad. I mean, you're looking at Connor Goldson. Connor Goldson is a guy you would expect to lead with James Tavernier, and he shucks out of challenges. He shucks out a lot of stuff. He loses the ball too much. He's duels. I don't know what's happened to him recently at the start of the season. You've got James Sands in the centre half position. The screen's refreshed anyway, but James Sands on the centre half position, who hasn't put a foot wrong really in the past couple of games. He's maybe had a couple of moments where he's looked a bit shaky or whatever, but in the whole, I mean, he defends really well. And I think his games keep coming for Sands, and he's looking like he's going to be the guy that will be Connor Goldson's partner. So I was happy with him, and I was happy with Barisic as well. Like, Barisic is a weird one, because, I mean, a couple of weeks ago we were all wanting him out, and recently he's looking decent.
If you're thinking about Barisic, you know what I mean? This is a guy that who's taking the disrespect to his face, do you know what I mean? Just gets his head down and continues to work. I've been saying that, honestly, the left side of the defence has been so much better than the right side of the defence. And that's two people that we expect to be the leaders for us in Tavernier and Connor Goldson. I just think they've been all over the place, really, the pair of them. As you say, with the Hibs goal, the second one, I think it's a strike you can't do anything about. But honestly, Connor Goldson, brother, if you've got the chance to take it to the face, take it to the face. Do you know what I mean? I'll take it to the face. Ain't going to improve anything with me. I'll take it.
Both him and Ryan Jack, looking back on the replay, that could have stepped in front of the ball, and because it wasn't exactly a rocket. It wasn't exactly that the guy had rattled the ball or anything. Like, he had a decent enough shot and it went in. But I mean, you're looking for players to stand up and do anything to block that shot for going in. You need to defend as a unit there when you're so down to 9 men. But we got lucky in the first half anyway with the penalty. As you see, Rocky Bushiri on the image there, he has become sort of a meme in Scotland with the things that's happened. He was the ineligible player that was playing when Hibs played in the Cup, which led to them getting put out of the Cup. He then signed with Hibs this season, even though he had played so many games, so they had to sign him, even though they didn't want him. And he gave away a penalty against Rangers, obviously. A lot of talk again about that at half-time. I don't think there's any complaints. It's probably a penalty. He's pulled him back. It's facing down the goalie. It looks a penalty.
It's comical. Sorry. I obviously it is a penalty for me. It's no question. Tavernier pulls him. It's a penalty. As soon as that happened and it wasn't given, I said, watch us get a penalty, go up and get a goal just before half time, and it happened. Mistake match strikes again, Jack. I predicted these things again. No, but it was a clear penalty. As I say, that's for the captain doing that. I'd expect that for somebody maybe like Sands or something. You know what I mean? I wouldn't expect that for Tavernier to do that. Desperate defending. Obviously the Chowak one that goes down. I kind of thought Chowak threw himself to the ground, but when you see it up close, there is a pull and hang with the shot. But it's just, I think it sums our league up really.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, do you know what I mean? One gets clearly denied that is a penalty, and then the other one that obviously is a penalty.
You look at them each way. There's two big calls to be made. He makes one of them correctly.
Full on the top, you can't make the big calls.
Yeah, you can see him just behind Morelos in the photo there. Absolutely horrible refereeing. We obviously get the penalty, which is fine. We scored the penalty, we go 1-0 up. Sort of papers over the cracks for me a lot of what happened in the first half. Although we've got the lead, there's still so much more to improve. Yeah. We came out in the second half and we just, again, looked really sluggish, really slow.
Clueless.
Pretty clueless, to be honest with you. The one bit of quality was the goal for Lawrence that put us 2-1 up. Before that, Martin Boyle had scored. Rabbi Matondo far too weak in the challenge. Tavernier gets caught out. And
that's the big one there for me with Matondo, with no tracking back and obviously being weak in the tackle. I hate that with players. Do you know what I mean? You're not playing Premiership here. Do you know what I mean? I hate to say that kind of stuff, but it's just that's where you see it the most. If I'm being honest, do you know what I mean? You've got to track back, brother. You've got to help defensively as well. Do you know what I mean? The defense starts for the attack. Do you know what I mean? So come on, let's work as a unit here. That one was a poor goal to lose.
It was a sucker punch, and you felt it was coming. To be honest with you, the way Hibs had started the second half, played really well, got the goal, and then we reacted quickly as we seem to do when we go down. We reacted quickly with a really good goal. Tom Lawrence found himself in a good position, and 2-1 up at that point. You're like, right, push on for the third, and then that's when the madness started to occur. You've got firstly there the two red cards. You've got John Lundstrom's on the right hand side there. Tactical foul. I think it was either a Rangers, it was a cross or a free kick or something. Martin Boyle gets the ball and he tries to break away. Lundstrom just clips him like any other defensive minded player will do to stop the attack. And I couldn't believe actually when he came out with the red card at first. Rescinded will probably be the way for that one. I can't see any way that gets kept as a red card. We see it in the Newcastle game for Kieran Trippier as well. It's the exact same challenge that he made, and that obviously
there's a different chip obviously for the Hibs point of view, where it's more a red than this. That I seen was getting compared on Twitter, which is just to basically say, mate, a tactical foul, nothing more, nothing less. Do you know what I mean? So a quality player like Martin Boyle, you can't really, his quality. Do you know what I mean? So
you need to chop him down there. That's Lundstrom took one for the team there. He took a yellow probably for the team. He knew that, and then I think everybody was a bit surprised when he brung out a red card. There's no dangerous foul play there. That is just a tactical foul. The Morelos one, although is different because he's raised his hand on Cabrera, but again, Cabrera had done that to Matondo and just about 20 minutes before that, when he was coming down the line, I remember he raised his hands as well. There was nothing for that. That's maybe where I've got to look at the consistency. I know Morelos is daft for even raising his hands, but
that's what I'm on about. He's daft enough to fall for it. There was the one beforehand where I think Tav's on the ball and he just kicks out at the player.
I've seen that as well, actually.
So there's indications there, as I said to you, mate, that it was going to happen one way or another. Somebody was going to get under his skin. It's one of them when you get physical with him like that, his temper's just going to get the best of him sometimes.
And I feel like it was so preventable though. Even that one there, there was no reason for him to even do it. And he's got that reputation under his head that big decisions are going to be made. He's probably going to be the fallout, which is unfair on the player, but it's the reputation he's sort of gained for himself over the years. We know he's a physical striker. We know he likes a battle, but I don't know. There needs to be a bit of consistency there, even with that, with the challenge for the same left back on Matondo as well. I just killed the game. The two red cards for us, it really did, because we had made the subs and we'd basically moved on to try and push on for the third goal, and then the two red cards and then what do? You put on Stephen Davis and you just need to defend for your life. I've seen better defending down the park, to be honest. That kind of game, knowing you need to club together as 9 men and really just get everything away, just do anything you can to win the game. I didn't see that at all.
See, when you were on, obviously you were on about maybe just put a man up top, maybe Sakala or what have you. I'd have probably just put Tav up, because I honestly, I still don't really rate him. I know he's improved, but I still don't really rate him as a defender. I'd have just popped Tav up by himself. Do you know what I mean? He's got the legs for it. Could maybe have a run.
I think we definitely needed Suham up there. I know you needed as many players back to defend as possible, because you've seen the overload Hibs had. It felt it was a matter of time, to be honest, before they scored. But I think we really needed an out ball, to be honest with you. We needed somebody to chase the ball up there. That it was basically just counting down, like, right, when are Hibs going to score this goal? Because they kept on punting it up, they were having chances, and they were kicking it back again, and it was just, it was sort of like, when's this going to happen?
If we go back to the Ryan Kent one, mate, that's on the screen, there's a big chance right there. I mean, how's that not top corner? He done all the hard work. That's when he ran right past all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then
even if the goalkeeper had saved that, I'd just take the shot.
And he had one in the first half as well. I think he was just outside the D where it went past the post as well, which I thought, fair play for having a dig there. But that one there, for me, I'm sorry. How do you not bury that? Or even there, what's that, Lawrence just there? You could have maybe, if he had his head up. Mm-hmm. It's the same with Tillman's in the last European game. If he had his head up, there was plenty of chances for him as well. But this one here, for me, it's got to be top corner. I don't.
When you actually look at it like that, just the still image of how good a position he was in, it's mental that he tried to then go by the Hibs defender again. Like, why did he?
Keep your head up. Why is he looking at the ball, man?
It is frustrating, because you watch wingers in this league like Jota, for example, Abada for Celtic. They're scoring barrels of goals. Yet we can't even score Kent can't even score a goal. Like, it's annoying. It is really annoying, because we really need that goal scoring winger, and that's just never really happened for Kent for some reason.
Overall, for me personally, mate, I didn't think we were good enough at all throughout this game. There's on the app that we're obviously showing here, guys. There's a wee stat where it gives you our home form so far and our away form. We already know the score. Do you know what I mean? But honestly, this game here, it was woeful, man, and it's one of them where you've got to take some of the decisions, I think, on the chin. The last one, it's all day long. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what he's doing. He's let himself down. I think really with how much work he'd put in, he stopped this kind of behaviour. And then he's obviously let us down, and he's let the manager down.
I think that is probably going on to Morelos now is probably the biggest part of it. Like, the club has persevered with him over the times that he's been injured, and he's came back to like a hero's reception, really. The first time he was on the bench, he gets his goal when he comes back, and everyone was fine, like bedding him into the squad again. And for whatever reason, it just feels like the writing's been on the wall, where Van Bronckhorst just hasn't wanted to use him for the start for any reason. He's decided against subbing him on at times.
That's what I said to you. When Emma Dodds asked him in the Champions League interview, she said to him, no urge to bring Morelos on. He was adamant straight away, wasn't in the game plan. He's not coming on. So that, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think there's something going on between him and Gio. Maybe really where Gio's looking at his attitude and maybe the way he's training or he's going about it. Maybe Gio's not impressed with what he's offering. But as I said to you, with his links with what's at Kamara, potentially going to France and what have you, I honestly think it's maybe time, as I say, to bed some of the players out who were under Gerrard's era. It's time to bed maybe some of them out. Morelos, I would keep him all day long, but as I say, if
you can't have things like this happen is the problem. Like, you can't have a player who's not asked, especially with the kind of season you're going into like here, but you're going to be competing on all fronts. Like, and we need a player like that. And if he's not going to be committed, then it's hard to let him go. But what do you do in that situation? We've got 8 days left in the transfer window. We probably need to be as active as ever in it, because it's clear that we need a midfielder. It's clear that we probably need another striker, a goalkeeper still up for debate. I mean, there's plenty of positions in that team that could still be filled with definitely more quality. It's all lying on this game tomorrow. I just fear if it doesn't go to plan tomorrow.
Aye, that's what I'm on about. Is it doesn't go for plan tomorrow. The headline straight away was Gio wrong to leave Morelos out, all this kind of patter. But at the end of the day, mate, I back the manager in these decisions, and if the manager doesn't believe that he's good, his attitude's good enough, or that he's going to add anything to it, the manager's right to take him out. Personally, I kind of maybe like Lawrence playing as a striker as well. I just think the way he came in for that header, and he's always got his head up. He's always looking to have a dig. I wouldn't mind playing
I
Lawrence.
genuinely think Lawrence could play anywhere, to be honest with you. I think he's that kind of player that could play anywhere.
It's massive, mate, and as I said, for him to just maybe if he's thinking to himself, who cares about have you? Then that's not the attitude I want for someone who we all know. If we're pitting a starting 11 for a massive must-win game, he's starting for every single one. He's obviously Cholak's doing the business. You can't drop Cholak, but if we were going off scratch in a one-off game to get us into Champions League, every single person's got Morelos on the starting lineup.
I think that's the most annoying thing because of the game that's tomorrow. Because he should be dying to get into the lineup for us. He should be desperate to.
I think he thought
be favourite
after he got his goal, coming back. I think he thought straight away, right, I've got to be in the starting 11. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into a lot of stuff here, but I just don't think it's been right. And I know there's in the papers and that soon as saying it's time to get rid of him as well. I don't want to personally get rid of him, but as you say, if the attitude's not there and if he's thinking, I personally think he's trying to run his deal down. I honestly, because he knows he'll get more money if he, do you know what I mean? Like a lot of players are doing now, do you know what I mean? He runs his deal down.
Well, he's got a week to rectify that. If that's what he wants to do, if he wants to move on, we've probably got a week to sort it, and it's honestly not ideal because you've got a player like that, like possibly. How do you replace that guy in a week? Like it's probably an impossible task, to be honest. Like you look at Kamara with his links to France, you've got players lined up that we've seen that could come in, and I'm excited by the players that were linked to me in that position to where I wouldn't be bothered if Kamara had to leave. So we've got that, and I just don't feel like Kamara at the moment is really. I think he's clearly been phased out the squad, and I think we need somebody more like a Vander kind of player, like an attacking, creative midfielder that will give us that spark going forward. I think we need somebody like that, and I just don't think Kamara's really in the plans, to be honest with you. Could be different come tomorrow. He could start the game, but
that's what I said to you after the Hibs game, mate. Obviously, was we need a creative midfielder. Do you know what I mean? You can't, and I feel as I said to you for lunchtime as well. You can't just keep rotating his partner. He's got to have somebody in there for him. It's got to be, do you know what I mean? Constant. It's got to be a continuous partnership. But we definitely need signings coming in the door. Kamara, I still like his attitude, though. Do you know what I mean? He's not throwing his toys out his pram. He's realising that, all right, cool, I've got to do the hard miles to get back into the team. I'm not just going to get in it. So I like that for Kamara, but I do think he is probably getting phased out. As I say, I think it is maybe time that we let one or two more that were under Gerrard go. Kamara for me is one of them. I wouldn't mind Kamara going. It was more, I think we'd when Joe left than if Kamara was to leave. Obviously Joe's gone, he's away playing relegation football. And Kamara to go to Nice for a fair price, 15 mil. I'll do the business for it.
Nah, I think that one probably looks more likely, to be honest with you. The club have come out and said Morelos looks like he still has a future. His contract talks are currently on hold. It's all up to him, really. If he gets himself into the best playing shape he can, if he looks committed, if the coaches see a difference in it, we won't have a problem. But I think it's a big sign that that the manager and the coaching staff and some of the senior players have agreed with the decision to leave him out.
But you've got to look at it, as I say as well, the level that Giovanni's played at and the level of players Giovanni's been around it, do you know what I mean? You know, he'll know straight away. He's not going. I don't think Gio's the kind of manager that's going to tolerate any of this. And if he doesn't think your attitude's right, you want to play, he's going to throw you out straight away.
And as you say, that's a big call to make before a Champions League, like a crucial game.
I like that for my manager to turn around and go, do you know what, mate? I don't care how big you are, you're out. If you know want to hang me for me, pal, you're out. But overall, it's the same, mate. It's team effort. Cholak, he's doing the business, as I say. You can't drop him. It's been a fantastic signing so far. But I don't know, man. I just think personally, Morelos just want to run his deal down, try and get a big financial queue somewhere else, mate. You never know where it could go.
Well,
or something. Do you know what I mean?
It looks very unlikely at the moment. I just hope this situation doesn't take away for a massive game that's obviously coming up tomorrow. PSV with the return leg over there. We knew it was going to be a tough game as soon as that whistle blew last Tuesday. We knew we had to really go there with a victory. We've went there with basically nothing each again. We've went there, we kind of just need to be our best for 90 minutes. That's a big ask at the moment. Going forward, we need every single player to be on it. We need to be solid at the back. and we need to limit PSV, who are obviously a very dangerous team, especially at home, to
Confident
very
are you?
little. So
How confident are you for this game?
at the moment, I'm not really confident, to be
I'm
honest
not.
with you.
After hearing obviously Morelos has been dropped, I'm not confident at all, man. I just think it's going to be one of the really tough, tricky away games. I think he's going to stretch Tavernier again. That Max boy did it and all. Pity he couldn't have signed for United today. That would have been beautiful.
No.
I just think it's going to be a tough away game, man. I can see somebody like De Jong getting a wee poacher's kind of goal. I can just see it in my head already.
Well,
Why,
as
man?
you say, we'll need to be there. We'll need to stop that. I would like to think seeing each other, well, obviously for Ruud van Nistelrooy as well, and for Gio, seeing the both teams will have more of a lowdown on how they're going to play. They concede goals, as we've saw. But we need to be there in terms of attacking them to actually score the goals. We've not done enough of that in the past two games where we've looked threatening really at all. We had one good move against Hibs. We had maybe one or two decent moves against PSV. One of them obviously led to the Cholak goal. Cholak had one chance where he missed it, but I will need to be a lot better in the attacking front to really trouble PSV, and we're just going to need to be as strong as we could ever be at the back. It's probably going to be Sands and Goldson again. I'm not even bothered about Sands. I'm honestly looking at Goldson. I'm looking at Goldson. I'm being like, you better not fucking fuck this up, you type.
No, listen. At fault for the last 3 goals we conceded for me personally. Obviously the late goal at Hibs and then the 2 Champions League wise. My boy Sands, you can get on it. I tell you what, don't even go into the Morris game. Go back to the Hibs game, will you, for me a minute?
Let's just into the Hibs game.
Aye, let's do it because I'm done with the disrespect for my boy James Sands. He's not put a foot wrong. And let's use this wee app, Jack, and we'll show people why. Just click on Sands. There we go. Compare. I don't know if it'll let you do it here, but
no, I don't think so. But there's Sands.
Look at his stats there. But if you compare him with Connor Goldson, he was doing a lot more, winning his duels. And you said he needs to get more maybe physical in there and what have you. My boy, I'm telling you, he listens to the podcast because he was winning them physical duels in the air. But I was really proud of him, as I say, mate. I'll back this guy. I don't care. I'm backing him to the end of the season. I want him to sign him. Sign him. 3 million. That's a steal. For James Sands, that's a steal. That's a future World Cup winner right there. Same with Tillmans.
Well, you're looking at how good he's being every single game now, and he's outperforming one of the best centre halves that we've had in recent time, which is alarming.
He does the work. That's what I'm on about, and he makes obviously the safe passes. You can say whatever, but they're also the smart passes as well. I like the balls that he can play over. As I say, plays the long ball over to Tavernier as well. And he's not risking it. And when he has to defend, he'll defend. As you say, somebody who maybe people are having a go at, maybe because he's size, maybe because he's not a natural centre half or what have you. But I think he's a decent centre half. I'd have him in the starting 11 straight away for me.
He's done well, to be honest with you. He's done well, and it's looking like he's going to probably start. We're going to the PSV lineup first. That's the exact same team that played against us last week. They've obviously had a longer time period to prepare for this game, so.
At number 28 for them, what a threat he is, by the way. He was having a right
good when you look at the comparison, obviously Cody Gakpo was like one of the best up and coming young talents, right? When you look at their wing play and how threatening the 2 of their players are, it just puts us to shame in terms of how our wingers are. But they're direct as anything. They look like they're going to cause problems, and I need our wingers to really do that. Looking at the team that they've selected for us on this
I could see something like that, but
I could see
Ryan Jack playing. I don't know about that, man.
I think you'll be fine with just the 2 holding midfielders, to be honest with you, and I think it will probably be Lundstram and Davis. I think that's probably what it deserves to be. I think Tillman will probably push over to the right again. I think Ryan Kent will play as well. Tom Lawrence is the big one. We don't know if he's actually going to be fit yet, so yes. I think he would start obviously if we do, but I think maybe moving Malik Tillman in and Rabbi Matondo out on the right, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me if he started Scott Wright. You can see he likes Scott Wright in these kind of games, these big games. I've said it, and it possibly could happen, but
it blows my mind. How does Fashion Sakala not get a chance in a game like this? Just even bring him on for the last couple of minutes. How does he not get a chance at that? Honestly, it tells us a lot, as we've said. I think he's probably one that's going to be out the door, but if he starts Scott Wright in the Champions League game, you know where it's going for straight down that hill, Barrow.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me again if Scott Arfield came in. and I just don't feel that we need Scott Arfield for the start. We need pace going up front here. We need somebody like Rabbi Matondo and Kent on both of the wings and Tillman in the middle of the park to really get forward. Like Arfield isn't going to get us forward as much as we want.
I wouldn't mind
in the second half as a substitute. All for it, but
Davis at second half, kind of, as you say, I don't. McGillar. I really like the two of them. McGillar. That's a working class man's midfield. That for me, they two together.
Proper Brexit midfield. That I could see that. I could see the point of going with that team if we had been going there with a 2-1 lead. But we need to go for it. We've got 90 minutes. So
the average age of our squad like that.
29 with that age there. Just
concerning that.
I know. It's been a weird sort of week in terms of everything that's happened.
Well, I just think obviously we've come on to talk about the game and obviously the Hibs game, but everyone's just been overshadowed now by the fact that Gio's dropped Morelos and told him, "You're not coming with us on the plane, son. You can watch the game like everyone else on BT Sport or Rangers TV." I think that's just really obviously overthrown everything we probably in our minds we wanted to talk about, because that's such a massive decision for Giovanni, and our fingers crossed. We're sitting here, we're doing good, but if it doesn't go to Hingway, I know straight away he's going to get slated for not playing him. I just know it straight away, but he's made the decision, man. You've got to back it. You've got to back the manager.
Of course, it's only if you a big
I'll
game.
But start Scott Wright. I'll tell you that much. If Scott Wright is anywhere near this game,
honestly, wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, would not surprise me at all.
Wouldn't surprise me either. But come on, you're telling me Scott Wright? No, I'm all right.
I mean, we can all hope it's hopefully just. I think the good thing for Rabbi Matondo would be that he sticks by him and he actually just says, "Right, go. This is probably your chance to impress me." He's got the pace, obviously, to burn. That left back looked a bit suspect last week. Maybe we play like him running at him. We've got the pace to get forward because we'll need to play in the counter attack here as well. Like, we'll need to have pace come forward and we'll need to make the right decisions. I think sticking by Matondo on that right hand side for me personally is the strongest move to make. But obviously, I'm not the manager. I wouldn't have dropped Morelos. He sees him day in, day out. He sees everybody. So it's going to be a massive game. Gio is one for these big calls all the time. He makes calls in terms of substitutions that you would just not see coming. He'll probably put on Arfield that plays centre half or something, and you're like, what the fuck's even happening here? But it's going to be a big game tomorrow, and I really hope he gets it right. Everybody will have their eyes on the press conference, obviously, that will be coming up probably later on the day, with his actual thoughts for his mouth about Alfredo Morelos. So that'll be interesting to see later on.
No, well, we mate, as you say, he's a manager that's shown faith in McLaughlin. He's shown faith in James Sands. He's shown faith in Cholak. Obviously, Cholak's never really hanged, but you know what I'm on about in terms of the fan base obviously getting on the back of some of these players, and he's shown the faith to go, no, these are my players, I'm backing them. I think they can play. I hope he does the same with Matondo. I really think it's unfair to just write the guy off straight away. I was really frustrated with his game at Hibs. I didn't think he did anything. He did a couple of backwards passes, and I was thinking myself, all this boy's get his pace, and that's about it. But I hope he can prove us wrong. I'm not going to write him off straight away, and I hope he can come into this game over Scott Wright. I swear to God, you've just put it out of my head now, and all I'm seeing is Scott Wright starting. And I don't want to see that. But as you say, he's going to definitely utilise the players and maybe play them in difficult positions. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be shocked if he turns around, as you say, Scott Arfield playing like left back. You never know. He'll do this kind of stuff. But honestly, I back the manager. It'll be interesting to see here about his press conference. And always going to be getting Hingmidway is Morelos and not this game, unfortunately, which is a massive game for us to finally get into the Champions League again. To be up there where we belong, playing with the rest of the big boys in Europe, getting the big juicy ties that we've shown obviously in the last competition that we can handle. You looked at that; it was the same with the Dortmund game, as I said, mate. You look at their team and you think to yourself, "They get better players than us. They should beat us." But I'm telling you right now, to play as a team, we show that spirit. Don't think MD can beat us, man. But away games are a different story. I just feel like they're going to. I can just see De Jong getting a wee cheeky back. Do you know what I mean? Back post kind of one. I really wish this boy had gone to United already. But I'm just hoping that we can block out the noise, focus on ourselves, and get ourselves in there and be rolling in the money. I want to see Gio's post interview after the game, just money coming out the pockets. Like, oh, sorry, just dropped a £50 note there, put it back in.
Well, let's hope we're sitting in that position, because we need to although it's going to be a, a large talking point, we need to just forget about Morelos. He's not going to be involved in the game. We just need to forget
I think it's overshadowed
about him now.
everything. I don't think that's fair on everyone else. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's. He'll be ready to handle it, Gio. He knows it's obviously going to come. But I just think it's overshadowed everything personally. I had in my mind ready to talk about for the day. The fact that he's been dropped, and I just hope it gets better after this. I hope his attitude improves. I know people going about his fitness, but I think he looks decent. I don't think he's looking like overweight or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I think he looks pretty decent. As you said, he's been posting stuff about training with people and what have you. But I just think it's maybe his attitude, and maybe people are getting into Morelos' ear and saying to him, look, listen, this or that. Do you know what I mean? Who was he linked with beforehand? Was Sevilla, wasn't it? He was linked with?
Nah, Sevilla this year, Lille a couple of years ago, but
aye. So you never know. Like, he knows that he could get one of their moves, and he is good enough for one of their moves. But I don't know, man. It's just really upsetting, really, to be honest with you, that a player that we all adore, do you know what I mean? And if his attitude isn't good enough, then that's shocking, man.
Nah, but as you say, we've got to focus on this game now. Looking forward to. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it, watching it behind my eyes for 90 minutes, but looking forward to hopefully having the opportunity to go and make Champions League football. It's a big 90 minutes. We showed last week we can compete at this level, so we'll need to be there, and I hope we can get the result we need, because this would be a massive boost in terms of where we are at the moment, in terms of how we feel. So I'm sure it will be big for the players as well if they go out there and give everyone. That's all they can do. So we'll see what happens. But I think that was pretty much all I had to talk about today. About yourself?
I've obviously, we've just started using a wee app there, which I think is beneficial for us, showing some stuff to you guys, showing you why James Sands is the best defender at the club right now, and I don't care what MD says. I'm blocking out all the noise. Give my boy some respect. I will back him. Have you seen his sister? Have you seen James Sands? No, I love him. But I tell you what, on another note, I wanted to bring up here. Did you see that boy for Aberdeen's goal?
I did.
I yelled to the goal that was, wasn't it?
I did. For Liverpool, I seen that the other day.
Aye, yelled to the goal. I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm just nervous for this game now. Really nervous for this game now. I was a bit more confident, obviously, that we had him there, but I tell you what, I know we were saying goalkeeper, a creative midfielder, and what have you else, but looking like we need another striker and all.
Nah, it's looking like that way, and literally no talks about Roof either. Nobody knows what's happening. We can't just rely on Cholak for 90 minutes for a full season. So
that's what you were saying as well. Do you know what I mean? You don't expect this guy to play 90 minutes. This boy's going to be having to play 90 minutes back to back now. I like the idea of playing Lawrence up front as well. Lawrence is one of them I already love now. Do you know what I mean? I know I was just having a wee bits of bants, guys. Just a wee bit of bants, but love him. Plays for the jersey. I wouldn't mind seeing him like false nine or something like that, man. I like him.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be big anyway tomorrow. Again, thanks for watching. If you could like, subscribe, share for us, appreciated, and let us know your thoughts on the game, about Morelos, about the 2 red cards. Obviously, that's kind of been overshadowed now with the Morelos news, but let us know how you're feeling on this game going into tomorrow. So we'll see you hopefully with some good news after it. Bye.